Now, from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather tonight. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, well, good Tuesday evening, everyone. Hopefully you had a great Tuesday afternoon, and hopefully you got out and really enjoyed some of that just glorious North Texas weather we had out there today. It was a cloudy morning. That cloud gave way to sun this afternoon, and wow, the temperatures bounce up into mostly the 80s around the area. Now, hopefully you did enjoy this afternoon, because unfortunately tonight I have what's called a whipsaw forecast. Temperatures are going to go from warm to chilly by late evening. It's all because, well, we've got a cold front that's going to be moving through the area. And by the way, tomorrow, Wednesday, will also be a completely different day. Temperatures struggling into the 50s. So we've got a lot to talk about. But first of all, if you are making any kind of Tuesday evening plans, at least here in the Metroplex, early evening still really appears to be okay, but as we go through the evening, a northerly wind will kick in, and temperatures, especially after 8-9 p.m., they will begin to ease down. And by the way, the important information on this, it will be a windy front, right? So as the wind comes through, gusts may easily from the north be in excess of 30 to maybe even 35 miles per hour. So if you do have any kind of outdoor furniture, things that can maybe get blown around, you may think about go ahead and bringing them in now early this evening, or even tying them down, or whatever you need to do, simply put, just so they don't get blown away. But here are some of those glorious temperatures I was talking about from this afternoon. Look at your daytime highs here. I mean, generally speaking, these are widespread 80s around the area. In fact, officially 81 at DFW. I got a couple 82s coming in for our friends down there in our southeastern counties around Corsicana and Palestine. So like I mentioned, hopefully you did enjoy today, because it's going to be a real reality check for tomorrow, Wednesday, also in parts of Thursday as well. Now, with this impending cold front, of course, we've got a big piece of upper level energy coming out as well. And unfortunately, now this is big national weather news here. Down in the deep south, parts of Louisiana, over into parts of Mississippi there as well. That's what we call a PDS tornado watch. Stands for particularly dangerous situation. It's a fairly rare tornado watch that is issued when you potentially have high impact severe weather. And again, unfortunately, we just have a wave of supercell activity ongoing, multiple tornado warnings, and quite a few hook echoes showing up on the Doppler now as well. So won't be a good evening for the folks down in that part of the country. But meanwhile, as we look to the north, here comes our weather now. It's that blue line, and again, you can see it fairly quickly now cutting through Oklahoma. It's going to be at the Red River Valley by about 6 p.m. and then, like I mentioned, moving through the area as we go through the evening. And yes, like I mentioned, it will be a windy front. Now, the good news for us, if you don't like really cold air, the bulk of the really chilly stuff is going to stay well to the north. But again, this is a true Arctic air mass you can see across parts of the northern tier. We are just going to get kind of a taste of it, so to speak, down here in North Texas, just enough to knock our daytime highs into the 50s and those overnight lows down into the 30s. But it's all in response to this storm system. Take a look at this here. It's this big, huge dip. This is what we call a long wave troughing pattern. It's moving across the nation. One of the reasons ahead of it, with all the rising motion, we have that active weather down in the deep south. Again, luckily here in North Texas, we're not getting any of that whatsoever. Again, we're basically just kind of getting the bottom side of that, the front coming through, and again, with a little bit of wind as well. One more perspective just on that severe weather potential and really what's unfolding, not even a potential, what's unfolding here in the deep south. This is the risk from the Storm Prediction Center. And this is an enhanced to a moderate risk. And again, in November, moderate risk does become a little more rare, right? So that would be essentially a level 4 of 5, right? So it's at the higher end of what we deal with. And again, obviously, like I mentioned, that tornado outbreak is in progress in that part of the country. Now, here in North Texas, again, we cleared the skies as we went through the day. There is some activity even this evening in the piney woods of eastern Texas and even up in the Arklatex. Now, that activity will continue pushing off to the east. No real concern with that. Again, we clear the skies, and well, even as we go through tomorrow, Wednesday, generally speaking, it's going to be a sunny afternoon, but the only deal is it's just going to be a much chillier afternoon tomorrow. There's your cold front timeline again here in the Metroplex between about 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. So behind the front, overnight lows, that's cold, down into the 30s out the door tomorrow morning, and again, daytime highs on your Wednesday. Again, struggling only into the lower 50s, but with the brisk northerly wind. Wind chill factors tomorrow, keep in mind, will be in the 40s. We don't do much better on Thursday with highs back well into the mid 50s, but take a look at that. A big warm up by the time we get to this upcoming Friday, and we've got a few rain chances showing up Thursday night and early Friday morning. Could be a few showers. Then we have a fairly weak cold front arriving for the weekend. Could be a few showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder with that. I think we need to track that carefully as well before another possible big cool down by the middle parts of next week. More coming up.